Okay, so now I'm going to screen share. Again, I'm just getting set up here. And I do have a sign up. It's also up here in the chat. I'm going to scroll back back and reshare it. So that link there is a page I set up. It's an integration so that people can just sign up and automatically be accepted onto your Slack team. So if anybody wants to join the Slack that I'm actually using for the demonstration, you're more than welcome to. That way it'd actually be a hands-on experience. I will maintain this Slack team up for future sessions like this. And all of this is being recorded, both the Blab, or anyway, it will be recorded. I'm off air right now for the Blab. Off the record. But the other one is a Google On-Air Hangout that's going to be available afterwards on YouTube. So still 5 minutes early, but I'm going to go ahead and go. I'm starting to record now. So this is my notice to everyone that I am starting to record. And if anyone is in the Google Hangout, that is also being recorded. So that way no one can say they didn't know it was being recorded. So we've got several people out there. As we wait a few more minutes to get this started, if you could each tell me, just put in the chat, or if you want to come on live, you can do that as well. If you want to come in and speak to everybody, why are you here? What caught your interest on this? You can use the. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, that's a good point, Alfredo. Yeah, there's Blab versus Google Hangouts, right? And I'm using both. I'm an equal opportunity tool user, so I don't have any vested interest in either. I'm certainly a believer in the right tool for the right job. And okay, I understand. You want me to call you Phoenix, or do you have a first name there, Phoenix? Phoenix. Okay, as nothing, because this is my new Blab. I'm new to Blab, so one of the things I'm a little bit unsure of. Hey Kim, a little unsure of is sometimes, like, I'm Bob and I'm sub Bob. I answer it either. For the folks that don't already know this, sub Bob is a derivative of submarine Bob. In 1997, 98, sometime around there, I went to get an email address at Yahoo or Hotmail, and Bob King is about as common as John Smith, so everything had a number after it. And after many, many attempts to come up with something unique, I came up with Sub Bob. And pretty much now I have SEO, because if you Google Sub Bob, 9 out of 10 things are usually my content. But that's where Sub Bob comes from. All right. So a couple more minutes here. I met with someone on Friday that has a business and primarily has been managing it by email, and was using Slack mostly as a messaging tool, just like Yahoo Messenger or Facebook Messenger. After talking to the person some more and sharing some case studies, saw where it's much more than just a messaging tool. There's so many things you can do with it. There's case studies out there where some businesses are even opening up their Slack with a channel just for their customers. And so their customers can come in and interact directly with their team on Slack. Other examples, think of the typical sales funnel. Some companies have different channels from prospects, leads, validated, closing, and just move the transaction or prospective client through the channels in Slack as a sales funnel. So it's really pretty flexible in what you can do with it. The other thing is, like many of the tools that are out there today, they have the freemium model so that you can use the free version, or you can upgrade to standard. And one of the things I intend to cover today is some of the values of upgrading to standard. Okay. So I see I have Kim. I believe Kim is watching in the Hangout. How is, I imagine you might want to mute me on one or the other, because I don't know how that's going to sound if you have two audio feeds. That's one thing I did not consider in doing this dual stream. So. Hello, indie artist. Correction. Welcome to the feed here. I'm using both a Google Hangout as well as the Blab to interact with people. One of the reasons I'm doing this is when I did a Google Hangout last week, we were struggling to find ways for the viewers to interact with it. And so someone suggested I try Blab. All right, we're going to start here. So what I would say is, for those of you that are not watching the Google Hangout, it will be available recorded. And so I am going to talk through what I'm doing on the Slack. So first of all, if you don't already have a Slack team, it's easy to set one up right at this link. And that's fine, Kim. And that's why I'm recording this. I realized that I came up with this on very short notice, so a lot of people didn't have time to do it. And so I'm recording both of them. Now, so at that slack.com, you can set up a site. One thing I'd ask you is, if you want one and you haven't set it up yet, hold off, because they have a referral plan where with my referral link, which I wasn't prepared to share this yet, so I will share it later. But with that referral link, you'll get an extra $100 in credits towards an upgraded plan, and also I will. So it's a win-win situation, and so I will share that out later. So over here now, the way I have it set up here, I'm going to be looking to my right a little because of the Slack. But when you set up a Slack, you have some default channels. You have a general, which everyone is a member of, and then you can set up different channels. And what's really, really convenient with the Slack is the integrations. So if you use something like Asana as a task manager, you can link that Asana to the Slack, and then with just a simple thing like this, I'm going to go add more milk, whatever. So in Slack, if you have it linked to Asana, you can do something like that, and it will automatically add that task to the Asana, and as well as create a link in that channel on Slack to it. So what that means is people can build projects and add tasks to the projects in a third-party integration tool without ever having to leave Slack. One of the things that I did last night is, those of you that have been using Blab for a while may notice that you'll get lots of emails. As everyone that you follow, you get announcement emails that they're either scheduled a Blab or one is starting. And it was overflowing my inbox. So what I did is I created an email integration so that anything that comes in from blab.im is sent to my own personal Slack space in a channel called Blab. And I have that one muted, so it's not going to notify me every time something comes up. But now I can just go there and I can look and see who's coming up. Now, maybe there's someone that I absolutely want to be notified of. You can set up highlight rules to search for a person by name, and then even though you have the channel muted, you'll still receive the notification. So it's a way of eliminating distractions and putting information where you want to find it, not where it insists on being found. So one of the things is, if you find yourself being overwhelmed by email, that's where Slack really comes in handy. All right. It's also great for onboarding. I'm sure many of you have the experience where you've either been at a company where a new person comes in, or that new person going into an organization, and you're looking around they don't have a good orientation system, and all the residual knowledge resides in somebody's inbox. And so as the new person joins, someone goes through and sends them a message that starts with FW colon, FW colon, FW colon, vacation policy, right? Or whatever. And if someone misses one of those emails, then that person doesn't have the knowledge. Well, with Slack, you can even have a channel called orientation or company policy. You can have all the information right there. And if someone has a question about it, they copy the link to that policy, post it in the discussion channel. It's all right there. And whether the company's a week old or 2 years old, when somebody comes in new, they can go back and scroll back all through all the historical information, and they can also use the search function. So it also has reminders. So, for example, there was something that I wanted to share yesterday that Leanne had shared with me. It was a great for scheduling across time zones. And if I do remind list, I have on here to remind myself to share the Slack contact team article. Oh, that's what it was, the contact team article at 4:40 today. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it early, and share that over here. So this is an article at Medium that explains how to contact the Blab team in real time. So whether it's contacting someone, whether it's something that's happening in a week, you can do in Slack just something like, remind me to call mom in 3 days. Put that in the Slack channel. I'm going to do now. Now it says, I will remind you to call mom at 9 a.m. on Thursday, January 28th. How it arrived at 9 a.m., I'm not sure. I didn't specify a time. I would have thought it would have been 72 hours, but that's fine. You can also say in 3 hours. You can say at 4:30 on such and such a date. So it's pretty handy. So instead of having, and that's built into it, that's not some other reminder integration. That's actually part of the Slack. All right. Before I go on talking about some things you can do with Slack, does anybody have any specific questions about it or things they want to know before I follow my own agenda here? Okay. No from Kim. All right. Hello, Christopher. For everyone that's joined, since I said it, we are recording this. I'm recording it and the Google Hangout. The Google Hangout link, if you scroll back in further in the chat, you'll find that. And that's because I just don't, if I was using ManyCam to share in the little small window here, you wouldn't be able to see very much. All right. So setting up Slack. The first thing is you go through, as I said, at slack.com and you get your domain name. Last August, we got one called familyplans.slack.com, and we used that to coordinate 12 people from different states going to a game convention. We were camping. We used 3 camping sites. In prior years, it was always this emailing stuff around, and someone said, what site are we at? What's the address? What's our schedule? What's our plan? And so then we used Slack to coordinate all of that. And sure enough, when it started off, it was just going to be 10 people. Then a couple more people joined us, and all that information would have been stuck in someone's email. But because we had used Slack, then it was available for them. So over here, I'm back over here in the Slack. I could even say, you can add stuff. So I'm going to upload a file, and I'll just upload a picture. I'll upload this one. So here's a picture that I had uploaded from my blog. And this is AV talking. Oh, Snapchat. Here you can put a comment, right? And so later on, I will add a link to that. But right now, I'm just going to put first. So adding a comment to an image is a good way in Slack to create a threaded conversation, because when you click on the image or the document, not that one, sorry. When you click on the comment, over on the sidebar, and again, you'll be able to, for those that don't have the Hangout open, you'll be able to see this in the Hangout later. But when you click on the image or the post that has comments, it opens up a sidebar that shows those comments in a threaded nature. And right now, what I did on, I don't have the direct link, but on my blog at thoughtspray.com, I had posted I made a post about Gary Vee's presentation in 2013 at an event in New York City. And I summarized his post with 6 pictures. This was one of the pictures. And now if someone else came in here in this Slack channel and added something, they can comment it as well. And then you start a historical conversation. So that's another thing that you can do with the Slack. Notifications, you can go all the way from desktop notifications to sounds and alerts on your mobile device to email notifications. It has the ability to set your do not disturb time, depending upon, if you want it to be do not disturb from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. or whatever, you can set that. Or you can choose not to have notifications and just go in and check the Slack yourself. All right. And right now I just got my notification from Slackbot that says, you asked me to remind you to share this article at 4:40 p.m. and it did it. So, pardon me. Now, there's also profiles. And when you, I'll go over here to myself and say, hit view profile and account. Slack will automatically pull in your picture, just like Blab does. It'll pull your picture in from a linked social media account. You can go in and add in the default setup. Go in and put in your phone number, your Skype, etc. You notice there's some limited fields there. That's one of the values of upgrading to the standard plan, is it allows you to, upgrading to the standard plan allows you to customize those fields. And so when you do that, you can add things like URLs to blog posts, the person's Twitter ID, their Facebook link, and other information. You can also integrate it with there's an app called Airtable, which makes a spreadsheet-like database. You can link it with Google Drive. So if you're already out there using cloud tools, you can go in and bring those tools into Slack, and Slack becomes your communication dashboard for your team. So instead of things being in email, it's in this portal that anybody can go to. Slack also has very good help. It has built-in help. So if I go help channel, it comes up and provides help on the channels. And then when it'll give you a link, and I'm going to copy this link address over here. So the Slack bot, there's a Slack bot on every Slack team. Slackbot provided the link to that, and they have excellent help files over at Slack that go in, you search it, how to edit a post, how to format a post, whatever the case may be. It's written really, really well. I used to say that it was intuitive, but I was measuring that from someone who's always been 3 to 4 standard deviations right of technology. My Amazon account goes back to 1998, and I used eBay when it used to be called Auction Web. So I no longer say Slack is entirely intuitive, because there are people that if they've never used IRC, Internet Relay Chat, or if they've never used other communication tools that have channels, it may not be as intuitive, but there's a lot of help out there that can help that learning curve not be as steep. Since I am doing a blab here and people can come in and say something, is anybody else out there want to join in and take a seat and say anything with questions about Slack, or if you're already using Slack and you want to share some of your own information? It's the seat's open and you're welcome. Again, I'm doing this hybrid Blab, which is more of an interactive tool, and Google Hangout, which is a one-way tool. So this is an experiment, and I appreciate those that are being the unwilling participants in my experiment. Thank you to all the lab rats. Okay, so back over to the Slack. So when you come here to Slack, there's a thing that says here, apps and custom integrations. And I don't know if this link works if you're not already set up on a team, but I suppose it will. Hello, Jim. We're looking at Slack apps and custom integrations right now. So as you can see here in the Google Hangout, it has the Skype is built in. I'm going to try and share this Hangout link. I'm not sure if that link will work or not, but we'll try it. I'm sharing my screen via that Hangout link, but you got Skype's built in. They have categories all the way down to communications, customer support. So if you're someone that does external facing customer support, or even B2B customer support, Zendesk, some of the ones I recognize, desk.com, there's several in there that I recognize as being popular cloud-based tools for customer support. File management, it has built-in integration for Google Drive, for Dropbox and Box, and many others. Payments and accounting, again, integrates with Stripe, ZipBooks, and others. So it has a lot of integrations, and it's very useful to tie that into your that and then use Slack as your dashboard. Right. Under team settings, team settings, you can go through, change the sign-up mode. I went ahead and used that hero. Where's that link at? It's further up there. But I used a link for an auto sign-up page for people to join the Slack team. So, but you can also link it to your domain. So if you're at mybusiness.com, you can set it up so that anybody that has an email address, mybusiness.com, can automatically join. Okay, let me see. Well Digital, Wellington. Hello, Wellington. So Slack is a cloud-based communication platform, but it's, I would say, communication and collaboration platform. And in a nutshell, I would say it's a way to transition from managing your operations and team via email to all of the communications being in one place. So Wellington asks, how is it different than Dropbox? Well, Dropbox is a file. So Dropbox is where you put the files, but then when people are managing by email, they put it out there in Dropbox and they email their team and they say, here's the spreadsheet or here's the project document. And then it's an email. But say you have a 5-person team and there's been 6 or 7 of those things that have flown around in email, and a couple more people join your team over the next couple of weeks. They don't have those links. They don't have the background. So by putting the information out in Slack and having it be in those channels, anybody can go to it. So what I'd say is Dropbox is where you store the files. Slack is where you store the links to those files and you have the context to those files so that anybody on your team can go there and find the information in one spot. In a really simplistic way, think about the channels on Slack as being like a public shared inbox, like a group email address, so that at any time you can go there and see it, but you can also have conversations about it. Did that answer your question? So on the Hangout, you can set, let me see, how you can share this with anything. Couldn't you see this being used as another form of media for advertising? That's an excellent point. And some companies are already using this external facing. So they're not only using it for their internal teams, but they're opening up their Slack to their customers and to the public for people to come in and ask questions. So instead of going to the website and saying, going somewhere and on the page at the website, using a contact form, they can come directly into Slack, join the Slack, and post a question in the customer support channel. I assume that's kind of what you were talking about there as well. So, and it does just like the yeah. And on my Google Hangout here, I'm showing require for @mentions. What I'm going to do now, just because I know not everybody's watching the Google Hangout, so there's something that by default Slack, when you say, if I said @Wella Digital in Slack, it would alert you if you had notifications on that someone had mentioned your name. But you can also use highlighting rules. So I could have it set up that if someone says customer complaint or complaint, I can have it set up that if you can go in and choose highlighted words. So if anybody mentions those words, they get highlighted in yellow and they produce the same notification or trigger as if someone had said @your name. So that's really useful as well. And in a large organization, if there's, you have to be careful. If you use like the word problem, it might show up a lot, but you can just see some scenarios where there's things you could look for. You could also put in competitors' names. So if somebody mentioned that, Blab is a competitor for Google Hangout. So if you had a Slack team for Blab's use, then you could highlight the word Hangout so that if anybody ever mentions Hangout, you'd be notified. All right. It's searchable. You can change your team name and URL. So the Slack team that I've set up for the purposes of demonstration and future training is helpdemos@slack.com. I first created last night slackdemos.slack.com. And as you can imagine, I first tried it and I said, surely this URL is not available, right? Someone else, either Slack or another enterprising person that wanted to use it, must have already gotten the URL slackdemos.slack.com. But no, it was available. So of course, me being the person I am, I went ahead and grabbed it. But I've also had some communications with Slack HQ on Twitter, and they are HQ. That's the team on Twitter that represents Slack. They're very, very good at answering questions, both public questions, and if you follow each other, they respond to DMs. So I sent them a DM and said, hey, I got this domain. I plan on doing some demos tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure before I fully developed it that it wasn't an issue with your brand. And of course, they did have a name policy. They asked that I would not have Slack in it, so I changed to help demos. The great thing was I did not have to set up a new team. I just went into the second copy and paste. Yes, it will. Stop that. I went into the panel right there. It says you can change your URL. I changed it. Everything continued to work. Even my sign up page that I had created in a third-party application still continued to work for people to sign up. So if you create a Slack team and you don't like your original name, it's really easy to change it as well. All right. I didn't have any kind of time limit set on this. We're coming up. It's 20. It's almost 30 minutes coming up here soon. Does anyone else have any questions? I'm happy to answer questions, and I will be making additional videos for this. I have one from last week, but unfortunately, I had done it with an existing Slack group with lots of members, and I didn't think about that it was showing people's names and all that. So I I'm going to probably do another one. You're welcome, Kim, and I appreciate it. Feel free to contact me with any questions you might have. I'm Sub Bob pretty much everywhere, including Gmail. So I'm at Sub Bob on Twitter, at Sub Bob on Gmail, just about everything else as well. And what I would really encourage everybody to do, and I'm going to go up and find the link again for signing up, because this is one of those things where I could sit here and show you stuff all day long, but like most things, you learn by doing. So the link that I just put in there right now, join Slack demo at herokuapp.com. That is a splash page. And I'm going ahead and I'm going to put that over here on my screen too, so people in the Hangout can see what it is. So that is a splash page where you can go in, just put your email address, and it will automatically send you an invite to the team. And I'm not in the loop. It's set up so you're automatically allowed to join. And I did that because if someone joined this in progress and wanted to jump into the Slack team, I did not want to have to stop and approve them joining. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that for your, like a private team, but if you had something like was a community Slack channel, so you're doing something like, cleaning up trash in your neighborhood, or like in Kansas City, we have a startup KC Slack group. If you have something where you want people to join automatically, you can set something up like that as well. You can also just go in and invite them. I got to go back over here to the Slack bot. You can go over here under invite people, and you can just literally go in and send them an invite by email as well. So there's multiple different ways to bring people into it. And it's been incredibly useful for managing communications with large groups of people and not having to just rely on email. Let me see who else is out there. I will do another one of these. This one was very ad hoc. I only thought about doing it less than 24 hours ago. The next one, I will be a little bit more scripted than what I'm going to cover. I'm always open to feedback on how to do this better, whether doing it with the Google Hangout and the Blab made sense or not. And feel free to ask me any questions at all, either in the chat channel here of this, again, Twitter, email, or what I'd really like everybody to do, I'd just encourage everyone to come in, join that Slack channel, and we will use that for training. Because, pardon me. When I say hello, Ann? No, she's not gonna say hello. But I'd ask her to bring me some more water at about the 30-minute point. So I think the best way to learn is by doing, and I can just imagine this help demos at Slack becoming a Slack training community. More, as I'm not going to kick anybody out. We're going to probably do this again and add more people over time. And the great value of that is not only will people be able to learn by doing, but as more people are there and they join this Slack team and see that the existing content's already there, they might not even have to use it. They can be able to see at a glance the value that it provides. And that's really like how I like to train. I don't like to tell people things. I like to show people things, and I like to learn by doing. All right. So whether you're the few that were here during it, the ones that stuck through to the end, or if you're watching this later on demand, thank you so much. Your feedback and time and attention is much appreciated. And just let me know how I can help you learn how to use these tools, Slack, Blab, Google Hangout, whatever it may be, to communicate and collaborate more effectively. So you'll find me anywhere at Sub Bob, and I thank you for your time. Before we go, Alfredo, do you have any questions before I close this off? And if you're on cam, Alfredo, you're welcome. Oh, the Slack where I want to add people. Absolutely. Okay. I'll share that again. Thank you for asking. This is the Slack, helpdemos.slack.com. And the other link, the Heroku one, is the one for signing up at it. And I'm going to go right now before I stop this before I stop the channel, I'm going to find that affiliate link that I mentioned because I want to put it out there as well. So they have credits and referral. Okay, the referral link. There we go. So here's the referral link. This is, I want to make it clear to everyone, this is not for my business. This, as far as, I mean, this Slack channel, it's not my business. I have a different business one. So if anyone uses this referral link to set up their own Slack channel, the credit will go onto the account for the Slack demos, and I will upgrade Slack demos to standard so that I can show people the benefits of the standard plan. As you can see, I just created this channel last night and I already have $150 in credits. It's only $8 per month to upgrade to standard per team member. So like right now, this one I'm at 5 team members, so it would cost $40 a month. But I have that right now I could upgrade it to standard and not have to pay anything for almost 4 months and have all the benefits of standard. And if someone creates another Slack team using that affiliate link I shared, then we'll have yet another $100 that'll go towards the standard plan. And there are some great benefits in the standard plans as well. Someone else joined us here. I'm just going to recap. Hello, Matt. It looks like your name's Matt there. I appreciate you joining at the end here, Matt. It's all been recorded, both on Blab and the Google Hangout. If you scroll back in the comments, you'll find the link to the Google Hangout. I will also come back here later after that YouTube video has been done processing and add the link at the end for future watchers. Thank you for your time. I am going to close this off now and look forward to seeing you around in the Blabosphere, or is it Blabospace? I'm not sure.